It. Oh, shit. Well, that's a great way to start the stream. Okay, let me know if you can hear me in the chat. I'm pretty sure I didn't switch my audio over to, let's see if I can figure it out. I don't know if there's a way to do it, to change it. Oh, you can hear me? That's good. Okay, I'm glad. What is this now? What is it? That's not gonna tell me nothing. It's not gonna tell me nothing. Oh my gosh. Well, you can hear me. It's definitely gonna be through my camera, like, instead of my yeah, that there's no even point in having that up there. Okay. Well, let's start this, huh? All right, you can hear me okay then. All right. All right, can hear me. Oh, hi guys. Hi everyone. Let me put this let me put this down. So I just want to say hi to everyone in the chat first. Hi, Victor. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Holland Sass. Hi, Patrick. Nice to see y'all. Oh, hi, Thesis. Nice to see you again. Glad to have you back. So I have some more crazy big synchronicities to share with you guys, and then a little story that goes along with it, and then we're gonna pull the fortune cookie and the tarot cards. Oh, hi, Jason. Oh, what? Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad that you have me on your notifications too. It's good to know that they're actually going out, right? Okay. I'm glad you had it notified. I'm glad. I don't want anyone to miss it if you want to be here for this. So, as you know, Spirit likes to tell me things through stories and shows and synchronicities, and I'm kind of tripping about this big synchronicity. Oh, thanks, Jason. I'm glad. That definitely helps because I'm nervous because this is actually okay. So let me just tell you the synchronicity that happened first, and then we'll get into the story. Okay, because I actually had someone on Facebook at one point recommend this show to me, and I mentioned her before actually. It's this girl on Facebook, and I was like, she was saying that she relates to anime characters and how she feels like there's a version of her that's like an anime character. And I was thinking, like, hypothetically, like, well, all possibilities really exist. And so I was hoping for her that indeed she could bring forward that anime version girl of her and integrate that and have that be in this reality too, because anime girls are very they have a good energy to bring to the planet, I think personally. So this week I started watching it, and I was a little bit surprised because you start it off and it's like these, like young anime girls, and they go to, they're school age girls. I think they're middle school age girls, and you think it's going to be like any other kind of happy go lucky type of anime story when it comes to the art style and everything like that. But it started taking a turn to the dark side a little bit. It started going into some little bit darker subjects. And so I almost was hesitant to even finish watching it because I was like, I don't know if I really like how I'm relating to this, and I don't really know if I like what it's saying. And so I was out doing my normal thing. I was door dashing like I always do. Now this is going to be kind of a weird story, like all of my other weird synchronicities that I have, but I'm just going to start it off with that, and then we're going to jump into the story, guys. Okay? Because I feel like what they're really because what I've been asking for the most, what I've been praying for the most, is like, bring me the truth. Bring me the truth. Like, what is it that I'm needing to heal? What is it that I'm needing to acknowledge? What is it that I'm needing to know about? Because I like, it's just like some new skill has unlocked in me ever since, especially the last full moon ritual we did, me and my girlfriends did with my candle for wisdom. And so all these new things have been coming to me, and it's like I suddenly am able to see and feel into these patterns that I have been reliving, and for other people too. And I'll give you an example of that. Okay, I'm going to give you an example of like the patterns that I'm seeing repeat that people are repeating because if time is happening all at once, then these aren't really past lives or future lives, they're just lives. Okay. And so I'm seeing the patterns of, oh, okay, here's what happened in this lifetime, and then it just keeps happening and it keeps happening, and now it's happening in little forms throughout this lifetime. And so there's this person that I'm doing these readings for lately, and he is having issues, back issues. And he actually has this cyst that we're trying to energetically heal every single day. He's been helping me to manifest healing and what's been going on here for me. And it is working. I can feel it working. I've been saying it, like I told you guys, with manifesting a new timeline and like having a DCA, which if you've been here for a while, you should have heard me say this at this point. A DCA, which is a direct chief aim, and my direct chief aim has been to get into alignment with my perfect physical health and to live comfortably in my body all day, every day. And so I've really been focusing on it. And so me and this guy, we're doing this work together, and we're working on manifesting things for each other in the world every single day. And so he has this issue with his lower back where there's a cyst that we're trying to dissolve, so to speak. And it pretty much started happening after he got an injection. He complained about a little bit of back pain, and I guess the doctor basically just went ahead and gave him an injection of a like a steroid shot, like for inflammation. Even though he didn't agree to it, he like had his back turned, and the doctor just was like, "Choop," and did it, and just like stabbed him right in his hip, and now he has a cyst there, which he didn't have before. So I'm like tapping into it. And I already knew from a past life that they told me that he was like like a warrior of sorts, like Roman Greek warrior type, and that eventually he got stabbed in the hip with a spear in the same spot, and it pretty much put him into retirement. It's almost like that. I once was an inventor like you, and then I took an arrow to the knee, that type of thing. So put him out of commission. And then I realized, that as I was like working with him, I was like, oh shit, this is happening again. Like this is what happened again. It's just a different version of the same injury. And back then they didn't have the ability to heal it either. And now here we are. And he got stabbed again, only it was a needle this time instead of a spear. And so that is where the entry point of parasites or bacteria of some sort was able to get in there and compromise that part of his interstitial fluids and lymphatic system. And so I'm like, I gave him some advice on what spirit was yelling at me actually, because I already told him the advice before, but he didn't really take it yet. And so I told him again because they were yelling at me. And so I'm noticing these patterns are repeating. Okay, I noticed these patterns. And so let's go ahead and jump into the synchronicity I had. So I was out working DoorDash, and I drink a lot of supplements and waters in the mornings. So I had to use the bathroom. I happened to stop at this place called Hot Belly Sandwiches. Okay. And they have one of those like single person bathrooms there. And the past couple times that I've gone there, the only ones that have been open was the men's room. The women's room was busy with someone else. So I've honestly just been hopping into the men's bathroom because I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I gotta go to the bathroom and I gotta leave and get out of here. Like if they can use our bathroom, I'm using their bathroom. I thought, like whatever. So I go in there, and they have this artwork on the walls, and it's a lot different in the men's bathroom than it is in the women's bathroom. In the men's bathroom, they have this like beautiful Egyptian old Hollywood Cleopatra style picture, and I really like it. And so it's been a while since I've been to the women's bathroom there. So I go into the women's bathroom, and I'm looking around, and the first thing I thought to myself was, wow, the women's bathroom has really lame artwork. Like, what the hell? Like the men's bathroom got the really pretty pictures. Women's bathroom is just like it's lame. In fact, the picture that was right in front of me was this needlepoint stitch artwork, and it was, what is the word for it? It was a visual representation like comic strips and it was, Hey Diddle Diddle, the Cat and the Fiddle. Okay, so it said that it had, like, the pictures of, like, Hey Diddle Diddle, it had a cat and a fiddle, right? And then a cow jumping over the moon, and then I didn't remember the 3rd line, but it represented it, and then the dish ran away with the spoon, and so I'm really paying attention to this for some reason today, and I'm like, "Okay, this is weird." I mean, like, whatever though, and I forget about it. I go home and, and I start rewatching this. I start it back up again. I'm like, "Okay, maybe I'll just keep going into it." Tell me why. Tell me why a 12 episode anime of all of the nursery rhymes to have in this 12 episode anime. Why the first one I watch when I get home? Why does it have that? They're in school and they're learning English. They're learning English, and this is the poem they have on my screen. I took a fucking photo of it and sent it to a couple of my girlfriends. I was like, "Would you take this as a synchronicity? Like, this is a big deal, right? Like, this is very fucking weird that like of all nursery rhymes of all." And so I got to learn the 3rd line, which was a little dog laughed to see such a sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon, which I was like, how did that representation needlework wise, how did that wind up there? So I decided to keep going and to finish watching this anime, which was in the horror genre that I didn't realize it was a horror one. It kind of reminded me a little bit of what, like, these types of things, they really kind of mess me up for a while because especially if I can relate to it, which the last time I related to a horror genre one was back when I watched Berserk, when I got evicted out of my house, and it was like literally like felt like what I was going through. So here's what the deal with this is. Madoka Magica is about magical girls and witches. It's about making a wish with this. Basically, we come to find out it's an alien cat being. Okay. And this alien cat being comes to this young girl and basically says, "You have the potential to be the most powerful magical girl in all the world, but you have to make a contract with me in order to become a magical girl." Doesn't really give her the details of the contract. She's thinking about it though. She's thinking about it. She has a best friend, and the best friend is also thinking about it. Now, the only way they even come across this cat being, honestly, it's like the opening is just there's a new girl that shows up in school and she seems super cool, but she's also like mysterious, and her name is Homura, and her name actually means flame. And Madoka, like, is the nurse's aide, so she's taking Homura to the nurse's office to have these like daily meds, because the reason she was out of school and as a transfer student is because she had a heart condition. And so it kind of put her out of service for a while. And so now she's back in school, and Madoka is basically saying, like, your name is really cool. I really like it. Like she was trying to become friends with her and stuff. And Homura is like top of her game. Like she's like too cool to even talk to. She's like super good at sports and everything like that. You can tell she has some training. Okay, now that's because she's a magical girl. Only Madoka doesn't know that yet. So her Madoka and her friend Sakura, they end up going to this music store to listen to music after school, and she starts getting contacted telepathically by this alien cat being. She doesn't know what it is yet. She goes and she follows the voice to where it's asking for help, and she finds it and it's almost dead. And it just so happens that Homura is there too. And Homura was the one that was killing this cat being. And she was like, Monica was like, "What are you doing? Like, this is a being." She was crying out for help. And Homura was like, "You don't understand the nature of her." And she's like, "What do I need to understand about it? Like, this is a living thing and it's crying out for help, and I'm gonna take it away, right?" So she does. And that was when the alien cat being started telling her the stuff like, "You could be the most powerful magical girl. All you have to do is make a contract with me." Doesn't really tell her the details, okay? But because of the fact that she happened to save this cat being, it manages to take her in a direction basically where she ends up in this space where reality starts to shift around her. And quite honestly, the imagery reminded me a lot of like MK Ultra stuff. It was really, really, really strange and really creepy. And we come to find out that what she actually entered her into was the labyrinth of a witch. So apparently, there's these things in this universe called witches, okay, that create these labyrinths, and they also mark people with like a sigil or something, and that sigil will eventually lead to their death. It curses them, so to speak. And so that's what these witches feed off of, is killing these humans and cursing these humans. And so she thinks she's about to die. Her and her friend Sakura are about to die. And out of nowhere, this magical girl comes forward. Her name is Mommy, okay? And she kills the witch and saves Madoka. Even though Hamura is there watching it in the background, and she's kind of like, don't bring her into this world. Like, basically, Hamura the entire time is basically trying to prevent any more magical girls from making contracts with this alien cat being. But these young girls, they just do not understand. Okay, so they basically, the only thing they can really do is tell them, okay, be careful what you wish for. Really think about it, because what if you would, like, what's your true intentions behind your wish? The cat being is even telling this to Sakura. She's saying, like, because she has Sakura. We'll get into her story real quick. Okay, so Sakura, the best friend of Madoka, she has this guy that basically turned her on to classical music. He was a violinist, and he got into an accident, and so his hand was damaged. So he can never play violin again. And this really tears at her heart, because she's a young girl and she has strong feelings and she wants to save him. She wants him to have his passion back. But she holds off because she did take it to heed Homura and how she was warning her, like, hey, careful, you don't know what being a magical girl really means. And because she was friends with Mommy, and Mommy is a magical girl, she got to see the risks of what it means to be a magical girl. Like, you have to go out there and you have to fight witches. That is what the contract entails. It entails you get one wish of your choosing, okay? And then as a result of that wish, your agreement is now that forever you will be fighting witches that no one else can see, okay? And then to top it off, okay, and they don't explain the concept of this until later episodes, which the way they unfolded it and unveiled it, I thought was like, it like made it hit even harder. So basically, eventually, Madoka gets in trouble, and she is going to die because there is this witch that has kissed all these people, including one of her friends, and they're all going to this warehouse and they're making this chemical concoction, and it's going to kill everyone there. And so Madoka tries to save the day, and she throws the chemicals out the window, but now all of the people are coming after her. And so her friend Sakura wants to save her, and so she decides to go ahead and go through with it, to go through with the contract. And so she makes her wish for this guy to be healed. And now she's going to forever be a magical girl. And she comes and she saves the day. And she promises Madoka. They talk about it a lot. They're like, she's like, I'm never going to regret this. Like, because one of the things that the cat being asked her, think about what you're wishing for. Like, what is the intentions behind your wish? Like, is your intentions that if you make this wish when you heal him, that he'll be grateful to you forever? Like, because like, wishes can sometimes, if they're not pure, you know what I'm saying? They can kind of go in a way that might actually end up leading to more damage than good. Okay. Let's see if I can let's see if I can keep going with this. Okay. So what you come to find out when she made the wish for the guy to be healed was that the ceremony that has to happen is it creates this little egg. Basically, this egg can shapeshift and transform into like a ring, or like a crystal. And so she doesn't, like, the cat being doesn't explain what this egg thing that comes out, like, it comes out of their body after they make this contract. Like, they lay down and all this light comes to the middle of their chest and it comes out of their chest. Come to find out, what this cat being was doing was basically taking their soul out of their body and encapsulating it into a gem. Okay. So now, when these magical girls are out there fighting witches, the more magic they use, the more polluted their soul gem becomes. And you can see it from Sakura, okay, that after the first witch that she kills, it gets all dirty. And what they do is that these witches, they also drop a type of soul gem, and it's called a grief seed. Okay, and they take this grief seed and they put it against the soul gem. Okay, and it basically takes all the impurities and takes all of the darkness that's starting to cloud up the inner part of the soul gem. And eventually that grief seed gets so full that it becomes dangerous too. Well, lucky and funnily enough, the cat being's like, yeah, that could actually turn into a witch now. So here, give it to me because I am the perfect person to take hold of that object. Excuse me, guys. So, but you come to find out that this cat being can actually eat the grief seeds. That's what it lives off of, is the grief seeds left behind by these witches that are killed by these magical girls. And so eventually you keep going. There's another character that comes out that's kind of like you come to find out that the magical girls, they actually start fighting each other and they actually kill each other because now they only have so much territory in which they can harvest grief seeds from witches. So they kind of fight for territory. And not only that, but some witches actually are, some magical girls stockpile the grief seeds so that way they don't have to worry about how much magic they use. Because, like I said, the more magic you use, the more powerful magic you use, the more polluted your soul gem becomes. And you have to clean it more and more and more. They don't explain, though, what happens. What happens if you don't clean the soul gem, right? And so we keep following down Sakura's timeline here, and it turns out that even though she wished for this guy to be healed, and he was happy, he was grateful for it, but one of her best friends had feelings for the guy, and she basically confronted her and said, "Hey, listen, I know you like this guy. Like, you wouldn't have put as much time and effort into helping him get better and cheering him up when he was sick and had no hope if you didn't have feelings for him. And just so you know, I have feelings for him too. And if you don't confess your feelings to him, I'm going to just go after him. You have one day." And Sakura is very upset by this. And she ends up getting in a fight with one of the other magical girls. Madoka, thinking that she's going to save the day, takes the soul gem before Sakura can transform into her magical girl form to fight. She takes her soul gem and she throws it over the overpass on the highway, and it hits into a truck and starts driving away. Now Homura sees this and immediately takes off because she has this ability to be able to glitch. And that's the thing. The cat being doesn't understand it, and no one else understands what her actual abilities are at this point. But now Sakura drops the ground completely like dead, basically. And so Homura has to go and she chases and she gets the soul gem back and she brings it back. And when she puts it back into Sakura's hands, okay, she comes back to life. And that is when Sakura really realizes the true fate and the true situation that she is in now. And so does Madoka too, which is this cat being is basically taking their souls out of their body and putting it into a more easily controllable form so that way their bodies can heal faster and they can take the damage that they need to take when they're fighting these witches. Okay, but Hamura already knew this. Okay, and that's what they start to like inquisition her about. Like, how do you know all this stuff? How did you know that that was the problem? Why did that she dropped dead because I threw her soul gem, right? And so now Sakura is just absolutely despondent because she's like, how can I even go and tell this guy I have feelings for him? I'm not even a real human anymore. I'm a magical girl. I'm basically like a walking corpse. I don't even have a soul in my body because now her soul exists outside in this gem state. And so she starts to lose hope and she ends up really like losing it towards the end. Like the whole thing is Homura and Kyoko, which is the girl she wanted to keep fighting with. They try to stop and save her. And the only reason Homura is doing it, and Sakura calls her out on this, is because she cares about Madoka. That's the thing. Like, they don't understand why, but it's all about Madoka for her. And Sakura calls her out on it and just says, I know you don't even care about me. Because she sees her gemstone, her soul gem needs to be cleansed. So she gives her a grief seed of her own and says, cleanse that now. Otherwise, you're really going to regret it. And she kicks it and she says, I know you don't even care about me. And finally, Homura kind of admits, like, yeah, it's not really about you. It's about Madoka. You are causing her grief, and I'm going to do anything to try and prevent that from happening. And so Sadako says, I don't need anyone's help. She basically, stomps away, and she goes on this train. and she overhears these two guys just talking absolute trash about their girlfriends, and she gets really upset about it. And she goes to these guys, and it's basically implied that she murders these men. And so no one can find her for a while. Eventually, Kyoko, the one who originally was trying to fight with her, finds her because it turns out Kyoko, who also tried to warn her ahead of time, be careful what you wish for, because this is how my wish turned out. And it turns out that Kyoko's backstory is that when she became a magical girl, the reason she did it was because her dad was a preacher. Okay, her dad was a preacher of a church, and he suddenly had these new inspirational ideals, and he wanted to preach a different type of message. This turned people away, and no one would listen to him anymore. And so she decided that her wish would be that people would come back and listen to her dad preach and come back to the church, and her family would be happy. And at first, it worked. It worked really well. In fact, more people and more people and more people started coming, almost like in a crazy kind of culty type of way, though. And in the meantime, while her dad's doing these sermons for this church, she's out there fighting witches, and she was happy. She was like, I was happy to do this. My family was saved. People respected my dad again. But then the dad finds out what the trade was and how she basically became this magical girl who was out there killing witches. But he basically said, no, you're a witch. And he started drinking more and becoming a little bit crazy, to the point where he ended up killing his family and then killing himself. But he couldn't kill uh Kyoko because she was a magical girl, okay? And so she wasn't even there at the time when this happened. So she basically told Sakura, like, look, at my wish ended up killing my entire family. Like, you have to be careful. And so she basically felt like she was like, but she had heart for her. You know what I'm saying? She had heart for her. So she goes and she finds Sakura, and she's underneath the train stations, basically. And Sakura basically is crying, and she says, you know what? I was stupid. I was so stupid. And at that moment, the tear falls onto her blackened soul gem, which Kyoko is like, what are you doing? Like, you need to clean that soul gem, like, right now. Like, how could you let it get to this point and get this bad? But it's too late, because now her soul gem breaks. And that is when we discover the truth. The truth is that all magical girls, once they reach a point of sorrow and suffering and despair, get over their soul gem becomes so polluted that it breaks, it turns black, and it breaks, and they turn into witches. So all of these witches that they're out there killing in order to keep their soul gem purified, they were all once magical girls just like her. And so now Madoka finds this out, and she's like super upset, and she's like, why what was it, the cat's name is Kobe. Kobe. I always forget if I'm saying that wrong, but anyway, so Kobe starts to explain to Madoka, okay, listen. He's like, I come from another planet, basically. I come where our universe was basically dying, and we needed to find a way to harvest energy to keep our universe alive. He said, imagine our surprise when we found out you humans actually release this as a byproduct of just existing. Your soul just releases this type of energy, especially at the point when a magical girl turns into a witch. It releases this certain type of energy, and then we can harvest that, and it will keep our universe alive, basically. And Madoka is like, this is a nightmare. How could you be doing this? Like, you're tricking us, basically. And the cat's like, no, I don't. He's like, you don't understand. We don't have emotions like you do. In fact, where I come from, emotions are considered a mental illness. So like, I don't see how you were tricked when just because you made an agreement that you didn't fully understand. You agreed to something that you didn't fully understand. And then again, he tells her, he's like, just so you know, like, you are destined to become the greatest magical girl, and therefore the worst of witches too. And you will basically, when you decide to make this contract with me, you are going to be the thing that is responsible for keeping our universe alive forever, because that's how much energy you're going to release when you turn into the worst witch, and you're going to destroy the world basically in 10 days after you become that thing. And it's like he's like, "It's no big deal," he's like, Call me when you're ready. Call me when you're ready to do that." And so now Madoka knows the truth, and she goes to Homura, and she's, like, telling her, like, "Listen to what I learned," and Homura's not surprised at all because Homura actually is from the future. Then you get to see all the lifetimes that she lived, where basically this group of 5 magical girls, it just shows you over and over and over again the timelines of them all dying, and they die, and they die, and they die, and Homura is trying so hard to find a way just to save her friend Madoka, only she hadn't made her wish yet, okay? And so she makes her wish at the when as Monica is dying again, and she wishes that she could save her. Okay. And or actually that would be the first time. So her wish was to save Monica, to be able to do whatever it takes to save Monica. And that unlocked the ability to time travel. This is the first time a magical girl had ability to time travel. And so she every time she would just keep going back to the day that she got out of the hospital for her heart condition. And she would go back to the school and she would relive all the same type of events. And again, all the girls would die again and they would all become witches again. And she could not handle this. Okay. Come to find out that the reason that Mudaka had so much power and was going to be the most powerful magical girl in the world was because of Madoka's wish or Homura's wish. Okay. Homura's wish, every time she went back in time, she created a new timeline attached to Madoka. Okay. And every time she did this, it gave Madoka more power and more power and more power, which is what made her an anomaly. And no one could understand why she had the greatest potential. And it was because Homura had loved her so much and could not let go and could not just let her die. Right. Now, this reminds me of a lot of the stories that I've talked about, quite honestly. Okay. And I'm going to get to the ending of it in a second. But the thing that really starts to pop out at me when I was watching this anime was okay, so the issue was that making the wish in itself caused a distortion in the timeline. That is the original distortion, was the wish, was she couldn't just let it be as it was, and she tried to make changes to it. And this is what kept making Monica more powerful and more powerful. Like you could see it showed it as strings, cords being wrapped around Monica's body because it was all these different timelines that what that basically surrounded Monica, and they all converged at this one point, which was that she has to die. Okay. And Homura was like, absolutely not. But it reminded me of a lot of things. It reminded me of first of all, River Song. That was the same problem issue with River Song. River Song did, like, she knew that she felt responsible for the doctor's death. Okay, like Doctor Who. Okay, she was destined. It was a fixed point in time that needed to happen. And when she tried to change it, it basically caused time to happen all at once. And everything was layered on top of each other, all different timelines. And it was absolute chaos. And she eventually had to go back to finally accepting that no, the doctor is going to have to die and I'm going to have to let him die. And she ends up getting charged with the responsible for murdering him, even though she was brainwashed and forced to do it. And she ends up living 188,000 consecutive lifetimes in the storm cage facility for a murder she doesn't even remember committing. That's another thing that pops up a lot is memories and wanting people to remember. Okay. So it also, like, the storm cage facility, I also thought that was really weird because my first most important, well, not my first, my most important dream, that is where I ended up. I was chasing this storm with a group of companions and I dropped into the storm, and then the storm formed a barrier around me that made me that I don't know, that makes me feel like storm cage facility. I'm chasing the storm. I'm locked in. Okay. Also, Clara from Doctor Who too. She jumped in the doctor's time stream because the great intelligence, the guy that called himself that, was fucking with his timeline and undoing all of the goods that he had done. And so she basically splintered herself into all these different versions of herself in order to save the doctor. Okay. There's more that just, it's like all these things just kept popping up. It was like sync, 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 sync. Okay. So here it is, I'm like, okay. So I'm like, and I have a diamond heart. That's like a gem heart. I feel like, did we somehow in the past make some kind of agreement in order to have magical abilities, in order to because we loved someone so much and that we did not want to let them die, and we tried to change the timelines somehow. I don't know, I'm just spitballing. I'm just throwing it out there because I've been thinking a lot of like, why, hey, diddle diddle, cat in the fiddle, why they want me to line up with this thing. But I also think it's very interesting too, because when I first saw my diamond heart, it was encased in black. And I knew it was from and they told me, Anubis has your heart had died. And that is really the whole message behind Madoka Magica, is that it is the sorrow and suffering of a pure, hopeful girl that eventually the threshold is reached and there's no turning back from that. And it basically puts a curse on the girl. And now she's a witch and she is cursing people. You know what I'm saying? Even unintentionally, even unknowingly, because of the fact that she was unable to clear the pollution of the suffering from having to kill people, from having to kill witches, basically. Having to kill something creates a pollution in the heart that has to be cleansed. Okay, okay, so let's get back though to the ending, because I want you guys to know this does wrap up in a really good and beautiful way. And I was literally just rewatching it before I started this stream, and I was crying. So I was like, okay, this is a powerful story. So we get to the end, and there's this big baddie witch coming. Okay, called, I don't even think I'm gonna be able to say it. We're Walpurgisnacht, I think is what it's called, Walpurgisnacht. Anyway, clearly she's some ancient German witch, okay, coming here. And she's at that point, she is the most powerful witch. And when she is so powerful, she doesn't even need to have a labyrinth to lure people into her in order to feed off them or kill them. She can just be in a general vicinity of some place, show herself, and no one will see it, but like an earthquake will happen or a really bad storm, and it will kill a bunch of people like instantly. So when this witch appears, Homura has to go after her. But the problem is she's the only one there to fight at that point, because Kyoko, who I told you about, was Sakura, and her seeing and finally figuring out, oh, magical girls, when they reach this certain level, they turn into witches. She is so upset about that. She almost turns into a witch herself, but she's like, you know what? Fuck it. We go out together. And she ends up killing herself and Sakura at the same time, so they don't have to go through being witches anymore and cursing people. Because for as many people as they saved, now they were going to curse just as many, if not more. And so Homura takes, because she does not want Monica to become the magical girl, right? She does not want her to, because if she does and she makes that contract, her soul's out of her body, she's like bound to become a witch one day. She only wants to save Monica's life and make sure that she doesn't get involved in this stuff. And so she goes after this big witch herself, and she basically almost dies. And the only thing that she can do is, like, she's stuck in this cycle now, because if she gives up and she gives into despair, then she turns into an evil witch. If she goes back in time with her powers that she has, then she ends up living another timeline of doing the same type of stuff and never being really successful. This was like the farthest she got. She was able to keep Monica from turning into a magical girl all the way until making the contract, right? All the way till the very end. And so luckily, because of that, Monica was able to have a lot of time to think about what her wish was going to be. And so the wish that she makes, the one wish that she gets, is she wishes for all witches to never have existed in all universes throughout all of time and space. And the cat being is like, holy shit, like, what are you talking about? Like, is that really the wish you want? Like, you realize this could basically unravel the very universe as we know it, the fabric of reality, because the what you're asking for is basically almost to become a god-like being. And Monica is like, I'm sure this is what I want to do. She says, I want to make sure that every single magical girl, I want to go throughout all of time. And anytime one of them reaches that threshold where they're about to turn into a witch, I will come and I will purify their soul gems, and they can die in peace and with a smile on their face, having not given up hope. And so she actually has this staff that blossoms into a rose, which made me think of which I haven't gone over yet, which made me think of Steven Universe, and the fact that Rose was Steven's mom, who That's where he gets his gem from, was his mom. She was actually a diamond, a pink diamond, and she saved the planet from the other diamonds that were not good. Okay, that wanted to then they wanted to corrupt the whole planet. They wanted to basically destroy the planet and just use it for its resources. And Rose was the one that saved it, and she passed on her abilities to her son, Stephen. Okay, and so Monica has the same type of symbolism, and it's pink, and it comes with this big giant pink flame, and then it turns into a bow, and she shoots it up into the air, and it turns into like just thousands and thousands and millions and billions of these pink little arrow things, like energy arrows, and then you see her going to all these different points in time where these magical girls were on their last, on their deathbed, basically getting ready to turn into a witch. And she's like, it's okay now. Like, I will take the burden for you. And she takes it, and she's able to take all of the pollution from these gems onto herself and to transmute it. Okay. Homura is very upset by this, though, because what it essentially means is Monika's existence will be erased from memory. Okay. No one will physically remember who Monica was, but Monika's like, but look, you remembered what happened. You remembered who I was. You followed me this far. In fact, I think, she gives her these haired ribbons that she's worn the whole show, and she says, take these back with you. Don't give up hope yet. I think you'll still remember me. And of all the people on earth, she is the only one that remembers Monica. Okay. So again, like, this is really hitting me hard because I have been told I have this diamond heart. I saw it encased in this black goo. The My soul braid walk-in that came to me basically said we could like I would become one with it, and they could help me clear this up, and they could help me bring it back to life, and they did, and we broke it open, and now I have it cleared. And so I'm thinking at this point, it's like, so this is what needs to happen for all the people out there with diamond hearts, because all the star seeds, basically, okay, people with diamond hearts, they're your high heart. Okay, I feel like I feel like this was a reflection of the past, and that the thing that I'm going to take away from it to go into the future is that we all have to stay on top of making sure our heart space stays clear and clean. Okay, because even though Monica made this wish, negativity still showed itself in the new timeline where Homura existed. It's just that now there weren't witches. So now there weren't magical girls who turned into witches. Now there were just creatures and things that came out of the shadows, looked like shadow beings. They called them wraiths. Okay, so who knows? Maybe we already went through that cycle. Maybe that's what already has happened. I'm not sure. All I know is this was a really big synchronicity and a really big story, and I was very moved by it. I thought it was really beautiful in showing the connections that people can have and what love can do for one another. And just also, like, know yourself, because what if, just like Sakura, you make a wish for someone, okay, because you love them, right? And you just want them to be happy. But then there's some secret intention under there, okay, like with Sakura, where like she really did love him. Was hoping to be with him. She wanted a relationship with this guy, right? Um, but she couldn't anymore. She couldn't, because she was now indebted to be this magical girl, and her friend on top of her, friend on top of it, also had feelings for him and was like, I'm not afraid to tell my feelings. I'm going to do it. Right. So this is what ultimately led to her suffering and then regretting her wish. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to know yourself, because that is one thing that after watching it, I took a look, you know what I'm saying? I took a sigh of relief, because I know that the place that I was in when I was making what I call my heart wishes, that happened. At the time that I made them and the time I saw them even start happening, everything, I never thought that I would even have the opportunity to tell anyone. I never thought that I would have the courage or any reason to. In fact, I told God right off the bat, like, I was satisfied in not ever telling anyone. But the more things happened and the more I was able to repeat certain things and repeat these manifestations, the more my spirit guides were like, no, you have to tell people. That is really the point, is to show people that they are capable of doing these things. Okay. But what I didn't realize, and what I didn't know, and what I find a little bit frustrating now, okay, is that people don't see their own intentions, that people don't see their own patterns, that even though there's things that I can, when people are talking to me about things, and I'll like, especially if I've known someone for a while, you know what I'm saying? And I hear when they're upset, I'm hearing them say basically the same thing in a different form again and again and again. And so I try to point that out to them, like, look at, because we are creators. Okay. We are the manifestors of our reality. And that is a very big responsibility when you really let that set in. Ignorance really is bliss. Awareness doesn't equal happiness in itself. Meaning does. Meaning gives you purpose. That is where you should derive your happiness from. Okay. But do you even know yourself well enough to be able to see those things? I see a lot of people out there. I can sense it in their energy when I'm talking to them. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I can say I have felt a little overwhelmed lately and feeling like, do they just listen to all of these things and do they not do anything with it? Do they really just, it's like get like us like gathering up information but just not doing anything with it? Like, or like, do they just not believe me and so therefore they don't like try the stuff on their own? But then at the same time, now I'm watching this show and I'm like, well, maybe they should be careful. And I have like I've had people come to me before and be like, who know about the things I've manifested, know about my heart wishes, and have like wanted me to make a heart wish for them in a way. And it's like you don't get it that way. It's like that right in itself, that desire for it almost taints it right off the bat. And so I already knew there's like rules that I follow when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to the wishes that I make for people and watch them happen. Because I know that you have to go into it expecting nothing back in return. You truly have to go into it not expecting a thank you, not expecting any consideration for it, even. You have to do it for purely your own benefit and knowing that miracles can happen. And what can you make happen for yourself then? In my opinion, that is what I'm coming across. Okay. So let's see if there's anything else that I can think of before I lose lose it. But so yeah, I guess the message that I am trying to convey here to people is, first of all, please don't go making contracts with alien cat beings that are seem really pressuring and being like, hey, make this contract with me. Contracts, when I hear the word contract immediately, and it's funny because the word contract has come up a lot for me this past week too, which I didn't feel like it was a contract, honestly, when I accepted my soul braid walk-in, because I felt like that was a version of me from the future, right? Figured that out later on. But that's what I feel like that was the version of me from the future, a Draco human hybrid. Okay. And that they came back in time basically to help me correct my timeline. That's what I feel like I'm here to do, is help people correct their timelines to get into alignment with that universe that has them living their best life and being the best version of themselves with the most fulfillment and the most purpose. Okay, because I know what that feels like. I know that we're all one being, truly. I mean, I know we're in separate bodies, and these bodies want to feel like we're not the same thing. But the spark of the divine is in all of us. And the thing that you should go after and the things that you should pay attention to is the thing that gets that spark in your heart going. The thing that you're drawn to. Because I feel like, just like with this show, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why of all time, like, this show was mentioned to me a long time ago. Imagine if I had watched it sooner. Imagine if I had watched it sooner and I hadn't gone into that bathroom, or I went into that bathroom still that day and I saw that "Hey Diddle Diddle Cat in the Fiddle" uh artwork piece. It wouldn't have lined up. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have lined up. Like, synchronicities, man. Pay attention to those things. They're important. So yeah, so I'm wondering, I'm like, is this what has been happening to us? I feel like, is this what okay, because remember started this all with the patterns, right? The guy got speared in the freaking hip, and it caused him to be put into retirement in one lifetime. In this lifetime, he's getting stabbed with a needle in the same spot, and it's forming the cyst thing now, and I'm seeing, okay, so is that what happened? I'm wondering now in this that this particular lifetime in Egypt where it was very traumatic for me, where I lost someone that I loved the most and I was devastated from it and I didn't want them to die. And did I somehow possibly make a contract with some type of being, maybe even Sobek, right? Because as you know from last week, I think that's partly someone who I've been connecting to and talking to. Did I make some kind of contract back then in order to have some type of magical abilities, in order to try and change timelines so that way I could see the person I loved saved and live? I don't know. This is where I feel like it's telling me. This is where I feel like this is how I walk the path, guys, and trying to figure out where I've been and where I'm going. How do I heal this? How do I let go? Okay, so the thing that River Song had to do, she had to let go and she had to let the doctor die in that particular timeline. But he didn't really die, right? Because he found a way to work around it, like he always does, because he's clever. Okay, and that is what Homura had to do. She had to let go and let Monica figure it out for herself in a way, and figure out the correct wish in order for her to save so much pain and suffering to all these young girls. Because that's the other thing I should mention real quick before I move on to the next subject, and it is that is the other thing that the cat being calls himself. He calls himself the incubator. They call themselves the incubators, okay, because they take the grief seeds and they eat them, and they basically go on to describe that the most powerful energy source that they can get emotional energy from is young girls in their second stage of development, when their hope and despair fluctuates like a roller coaster. And it just made me think of Loosh, made me think of Loosh harvesting and what we've heard about these interdimensional beings that literally feed off of us, you know? So crazy times, guys. Crazy times. Crazy, crazy times. So let's go ahead and shift gears completely here, right? Because that was heavy and that was intense, and I'm still kind of piecing it all together for myself anyway. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's synchronicity. Yeah. I don't know if I really want to get into that. Hmm. It is the day before Valentine's Day. I guess I want to say happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. Wait, is Sarah Kitty in the chat? Is that Sarah Kitty? Sarah. What are you doing here? My God. Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to look at some of this. Okay. I'm going to look at some of this chat here. Yes. Right? Exactly, Joanna. Just fucking clear those gems. What are they doing? We don't need to kill witches to clear those fucking gems. Oh, I that's a good question, White Swan. I mean, besides me swearing, which she hears me do all the time, it is pretty PG. And I will make sure I give you a heads up, White Swan, because there is some non-PG things that I plan on talking about here that I've been waiting for the right opportunity, for it to flow naturally, because I know I have to wait. I'm a responding generator, means I have to wait for the right time when I feel it, and then boom, and then I do it, and it lines up just like with the Hey Diddle Diddle. It lines up just like with Jotaro and the freaking golden chain and the black hole. And that is the other thing I wanted to say. I think that part of our original identity, just like it mentioned in the Ascension glossary, I think that part of those got put into a black hole, and that is partly what probably made it more difficult for us to come fully back online into our power, was that a part of me got put into a black hole, and I was able to retrieve that, and that was through the help of Jotaro, right? The Jotaro character guy. Okay. And what happened with that whole Irene Jolene arc that I went through with you guys. I'm sorry for people in the chat that might be new or haven't seen that stream yet. I'm kind of building on lore, so you guys know I build upon my story. So It would take a lot, yes. Yes, the black hole, exactly. 'Cause I read actually in the Ascension Glossary that that is and that was when okay, at that time, when the golden chain got put over the black hole, that's why I say I think that part of it was in that, because the dream I had a year ago in January, a year ago, was my ex putting on this golden chain, which I felt like Spirit was saying, "This is the golden timeline that we have now locked into place. We pulled that part of your identity that you needed to become fully activated in this planet out of that black hole." And I had a whole bunch of songs that came through at that time too that were all related to black holes from Muse, the Muse songs, some of the Muse songs. Oh, Lord. It's kind of, yeah. And I know firsthand too that like your heart's gem, your diamond heart, it can absolutely get corrupted from suffering and grief. Like it's very necessary to make sure that you are able to move those things out of your body by allowing yourself to feel them, which I know is a lot easier. I know, guys, I know this is like a lot easier said than done, but knowing about it is the first part. Just knowing about it, which a lot of people don't even pay attention to that. They keep us so distracted, Oh, that is the other thing I wanted to get into. Okay, so this is kind of like everyone's talking about this subject right now, but I want to mention it briefly. I want to mention Erica Kirk. I would like to mention this trifling ass twat waffle bitch because I believe I had a fucking energetic interaction with her. And I use that word twat waffle on purpose because if any of you have heard any of the recent things about her talking to a 15-year-old when she was 25 and calling her that, I'm like absolutely like, what in the hell? Let me tell you, Erica Kirk, don't mess with her energetically. Let God handle her because, I have abilities. When it comes to people's minds, when it comes to being able to connect with someone energetically. And so one day I was out door dashing and driving, and I've done this type of stuff before when it comes to people that I can tell that are like not good people. Okay, I'll just say that. So I was like, oh man, it's making me so mad. I was like, I really kind of want to fuck with her. I kind of want to go at her and I want to fuck with her because how could you do this to Charlie Kirk? How do you do this to your husband? And it's so obvious. It's so obvious to everyone that has eyes to see and ears to hear, and so I started trying to connect into her energy so I could read her a little bit because I've connected in with Charlie Kirk. Okay. I've had like a conversation with him. I channeled in him already. And like he basically he's like, I should have saw it. Like all the red flags were there. And I think at the end he did see it. And this is why he took his wedding photo down from his office. Now I'm sorry guys. I know there are people out there that are like, oh no, he's part of the system um, and it was a psyop and all that type of stuff. It didn't feel that way to me. I'm always open to being wrong though. But it feels like to me like he did pass away. And so I've been connecting to him. And he basically was saying about his wife, like the thing that he's most concerned about now is his children. In fact, that's even what he wrote down on his list, right? Like the first thing that most important is children and like all this stuff. But he didn't mention his marriage. Okay. And apparently he also took his wedding ring off the night before and slept in his daughter's room. So this makes me think that he was on to her. There was something going on there. And so I wanted to go after her. Okay. I'm just going to say, I wanted to go and mess with her a little bit. So I tried to connect into her energy. And immediately, right off the bat, I noticed that it was very difficult to get to her. She actually had really strong protection around her, but it was definitely some what people would call satanic protection. It was definitely that. I don't care what anyone says. This is my personal opinion on my energetic read of Erica Kirk. I tried to go at her, and that was the day. Let me tell you, I found out the hard way. I fucked around and I found out. Okay. That was the day that I had something truly terrifying happen to me. And it basically put me into this state of fear where I had to use all the tools that I've been advising everyone else on how to manifest and stay in alignment and stay loyal to what it is that the timeline that you're on, you know. And so now I feel like I'm farther enough away from this incident that I can just go ahead and say it. It had something to do with my car. Okay. Like, and it was the weirdest fucking thing. It was just it. I mean, I don't think it was just a fluke. I feel like it was backlash from me trying to go after her, is what it felt like to me. Because two things happened that day in regards to my car that really would have put me in like a dead stop. Basically, I had you know, you're in the engine light. It like flashed. It was flashing, and I saw it, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And this was right at the time that I was trying to do that. Okay, I was trying to do that, and it flashed, and I was like, "What the fuck? I've never seen it do that before. I've seen it come on before, but I've never seen it flash before." And then it stopped, and I had gotten an oil change that day too. So I called up the oil change place, and I'm like, "Is there something you guys could have done? Like, can I drive back over there like at the end of my shift or whatever, my DoorDash shift?" Because they were like, "You're still going to keep driving." I was like, "Why not? It went off, you know." And so I had to look it up. Apparently, when that happens, it's like stop your car right now. Okay. So I'm like, okay, that's really fucking strange. And so I go back to the oil change shop at the end of the evening, and they check it and they're like, no, everything's fine. And then I go to start my car, and the first try didn't do it. Didn't fire her up. So I just want to say, you guys, like, she definitely has some protection around her for us magical girls out there. Like, I wouldn't fuck with her. I'm just gonna say let God handle that. But I definitely think that she is heavily what she called this guy named Baron Cohen I watch sometimes. He basically called her an asset, a CIS or something like that, that is sheep dipped. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of sheep dipping. Okay. And sheep dipping, what they do is they take a person who works for the government undercover basically, and they give them experiences to pad their resume. Basically, they give them all the, like, they have them go to like different traveling spots and everything like that. They put them into certain types of industries to where they don't really have to have experience. So she has like all of these things, all of these, like, she had a podcast at one point, she had a clothing line at one point. She went into the pageant world with little to no experience and won Miss Arizona. She was getting like a real estate license. Like, she's like doing all these, but then she has no real achievements when it comes to those things. Yeah, there. Hold on, I gotta see what voice fun said here. Yes, exactly. Yeah, we need to just view her from a distance, because I know that you're the type that would want to go after her too, my reptilian brethren. So I mean, this is what we do. I get fired up. I'm like, I want to do something while I'm out there driving around. I used to, you know, like, I want to go, I don't know, go remote view something. I'll go see something, like go connect into someone mentally, talk to my guides and listen to music. Then still studying all of the concepts of manifestation in order to really have them sink in, so that I can keep coming out here to you guys and telling you exactly, reminding you, being that other version of yourself. I'm just another you. If you have found your way to this stream, then I'm a part of you trying to tell yourself something. I am trying to tell yourself something. I am you trying to tell you how to manifest your dreams coming into reality. Okay, because I've done it. I have had miracles. You know, I've seen things that are impossible happen. And I feel like the hard part for me is finding people that have synchronicities on the same level that I do when it comes to like the hey diddle diddle cat and the fiddle, or like the Jolene Kojo one, the Jolene, the how the whole show started and how my morning started that day. And that's fucking crazy. Is that not crazy? You know, but I have come across someone recently that all these synchronicities are not only happening for them, but they're happening around them, to me, about them. Like, it's kind of it's been a very weird experience. So I'm like, I know I'm meant to like work with this person. I can tell whenever those types of synchronicities start to happen real big on that type of level. I like that spirit telling me, okay, you're gonna work with this person. It's the person I'm manifesting with every single day. So yeah, exactly. We don't exactly. I know. I thought about that too. I was like, I didn't want her to trace me back. I did think about that, White Swan. I did. So don't fuck with Erica Kirk. She's got heavy satanic forces that are at her back, that will put you in your place if you try to send anything negative towards her. I mean, every time she says the name of Jesus, she kind of goes back and forth with her eyes, apparently, and that's supposed to be a big body language sign of disgust, like crawling out of her skin, so to speak. So that's just my take on the Erica Kirk thing and the weird thing that happened in regards to her. And it's passed enough time now at this point that I felt safe enough sharing it with you guys because the song that, like, again, I had to put all of my energy and focus upon staying in the timeline that I was choosing to stay in, which was My Car Runs Good. In fact, they gave me a Black Eyed Peas songs for it, and so every time I go out to my car, I repeat, "Why is my camera all over the place today? It's really driving me nuts just because 'cause I'm moving, it's all over the place?" Okay, whatever. So, the Black Eyed Peas song, we keep running, running, and running, running, and running, running. There's a running, running, and running. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah, cameraman is active today, Victor. 100%. Geraldine, hi. Mhm. Wait, what? I had to change browsers? Oh no, you weren't able to write and participate? I'm sorry. Glad to see you here though. Glad to have my friends here, as always. My soul family. That's what you guys are here. So I really hope that you found something that you could relate to as well when it comes to this anime that I just shared. Oh, okay, good, good. I'm glad you could hear it. I felt like you were a little bit worried for me considering the topic with the comments in my comment section. I was like, oh yeah, I'm good. Don't worry, I'm good. I mean, I have been kind of down, I guess you could say, the past few days. Something has just felt like what's the word for it? Empty, you know? It's felt empty. It's felt a little bit like, yes, I'm putting all my energy into focusing on this perfect physical health, but what is there to look forward to in the future? You know what I'm saying? It feels like okay, I'm a little upset. It feels like conferences are dwindling, and like without conferences to hang out with and socialize with the people of like minds, like what will I have then? You know what I'm saying? And then it made me think about my kids too, and the fact that I want to be able to take, like, but in the past it's because money is tight. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I was growing up, my mom would take us on vacations, because there was only three of us, like, but I have six. And how do I find a way to not only give time for myself to be able to go to conferences and make connections with people and have that cup filled, but how do I make the time and the planning and the energy and the effort to go out there and to make memories for them? Because uh I opened this fortune cookie the other day and it said time is not measured by a watch but by the moments that you live. And I realized how true that was. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about the amount of time that goes by. It's like we live based on the moments that we have, the experiences that we have. How do I be a better version of myself in order to make sure not only I get to have those types of memories, but my children I find a way to help them have those types of experiences so that they can continue to have their own their own experiences like that when they're older and they're on their own, so to speak. Like, this is part of what I've been pondering and wondering. It has been a weird week, right? It's felt very strange. I don't know. It's been like I would say like 3 days. It just seems like everything just seems, I don't know, overwhelmingly sad. Almost like, because here's the thing, even with all of the Epstein files and stuff coming out, even though we all knew that, which I'm sorry, I'm not diving back into that fucking dark ass rabbit hole again. If you guys want to go, if the normies that didn't want to believe it when we were telling them want to believe it now, like go, like want to go down those rabbit holes, go ahead. But I am not, because I've already gone down to those dark places, and it's so upsetting that we have all this. And even though, yeah, yes, Epstein was a low hanging fruit. Yes, he was, but nothing's happening off because of it. You know, we're no arrest. We're not going to see that, right? The system is set up in a way where, in fact, I've even been watching this new girl that has been very inspiring because she basically is her message is, like, in perfect alignment with everything that I come out here and I share with you guys, and her name was Max Lowen, okay? She is, satanic ritual abuse survivor. Which I don't know if like, I have such a small channel, I don't think I have to worry about which words I say, right? I notice a lot of bigger channels, like, they won't even say these words. Like, they won't say, like, I'm gonna do it now, PDF file, they won't say that, and they say grape instead of the other word and stuff like that, so I don't know. But, it's like, what hope do we have of changing the world when no one wants to get rid of the structure that is creating this corruption and holding it in place? Like, the structures have to come down. Like, we have to band together. How do we even do that? People, oh yeah, I'm glad that we got to this. There's one more thing I want to mention before I pull the fortune cookie and go into the tarot card. Okay. The experiment of Rat Park. I don't know if you guys I mentioned this briefly on, Typical Skeptic podcast a few weeks back, but it's funny because I was thinking I should look that up and I should listen to the details of what that study was again, because I only remembered a little bit of it, but I was pretty sure that it got pretty brutal and graphic and stuff like that. And it just so happened, by coincidence, of course, that I was watching this this YouTube video that got recommended to me by this professor, this Chinese professor, and he was talking about Rat Park. And he didn't go into the part where basically like, there were different levels to this park, but it was all one closed space. And there was the upper level was taken up by all these rats that basically spent all day, like, pruning them, like, cleaning themselves, and they called them the beautiful ones because they were actually, like, more beautiful than most of the rest of the rats. But so these rats were put into this enclosed space and they were given all of their heart's desires that they could ever want as a little rat having a life. All the food, clean water, spaces to run around in, spaces to play. It wasn't overcrowded. They were, like, just really taken care of, right? And what they learned through this experiment was that in every instance, having all of their needs met in this way wasn't enough to just keep them living happily. That eventually they started turning on each other and things got violent and they started killing each other and they even started cannibalizing each other. Like, so just having, like, your needs met, like having food and shelter, you would think that, having being clean, all you would think. So let's just hypothetical, like, compare that. Okay. Let's say Jasara fucking comes through for us, right? And everyone's got all this money now. Everyone can buy everything they need. Everyone is healed. Everyone doesn't have to work anymore. They can focus on what they want to do. I don't think that necessarily is going to fix things if we take this experiment and compare it. There's something more that has to inspire people, like, in fact, the only conclusion they could come to as to why this kept happening in this way and the society kept turning violent against itself and the killing and all that type of stuff was that they basically said that it's an alpha, like, with the rats, the mammals or whatever, like, one alpha male, there can only be one basically. And so in the wild, an alpha male would fight with one of the lower males and it would win. That's what would make it the alpha male, right? And then that alpha male could mate with any of the female rats, and the ones that lost, they could just run to another territory and fight again to see if they could become the alpha male. Well, in this particular case, they didn't have anywhere to run. They had nowhere to go. Okay. And so what I think behind all this is what it's saying is that people need to have purpose. They need to have meaning. Before people did used to find purpose and meaning in the work that they did, in the jobs that they did, right? But people are losing that more and more. And now things are getting shittier and shittier because the incentives are not worth the cost of working hard and taking value in your work. Okay. Like, that's what's happening out there in the country. People are just losing meaning, they're losing purpose. And that our nature our nature demands something greater than that, you know, the human being and the connections that we're meant to make. They've isolated us to the point where, um, you know, we're unhealthy in this way and that we don't even like, okay, yeah, that was the other thing. Like that's the other thing that is out there in the world right now. Like people are helping each other less and less. If you're out there in the street, they've proven it with other studies that like someone can be hurt and injured and crying for help on the street and people will just walk on by, and the main reason when they question people as to why they did that afterward is because they're like, oh, someone else will get it. I've just figured someone else would get it. Or they get scared, well, I don't know, maybe if I help them it might come back on bad on me somehow in some way, so it's like this, I guess this is the stark reality that is like been the past, I don't know, couple days, week or so, that has just been coming up for me because I'm like, okay, I need to know exactly, especially if I'm going to start manifesting something better for all of us. I feel like I kind of need to know exactly what it is that we're focusing on in order to start making some type of real change. But let me tell you, before you even want to do any of that, which is beautiful, it's good to have prayers. Okay. It's good to have requests of God to help. But you need to know, you're the first person, and the first thing you need to be working on is yourself. Okay, because your inner world is a reflection of your outer world. So the first main thing that you need to do is focus on healing yourself, getting yourself right, finding happiness within yourself, finding love within yourself. All other things will come outside of that. So if you don't love yourself, first of all, then you're not going to be able to ever feel true love outside of yourself because you basically have a cup with holes on the bottom of it. And so you're looking for love to love yourself. You're looking for someone else to give you that love for yourself so that way you can feel that way. But you have these holes. And so therefore it constantly needs to be replenished unless you find a way to love yourself. You connected to source. You realize that God is love and that you are that thing. And then you form this connection with God that gives your life meaning and purpose, where you have these huge synchronicities that happen all the time and you trust your guts and you trust your hunches, right? Like that is how I got on track with this. I want other people to have these experiences in their own personal way, So I guess that's what I've really been thinking about for this past week. I guess you could say past couple. It's kind of an amalgamation of all the stuff that I've kind of been thinking about for the past couple weeks. So I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, exactly. It did, Joanna. It did help that along a lot. Right. Victor said he's never gonna see PDF files the same again. Exactly. We've changed it. PDF files. Oh, I know you've been prayers for Victor. He's been sick, guys, ever since leaving my house. He got sick on the way home from the airport. I knew it. Which we had a really good time, and then thank you again for coming to visit me, Victor. I really appreciated that. hmm Yes, I'm just reading some of the comments. Okay, Geraldine says people are in survival mode and living hand to mouth. Yes, the system wants us to be in survival mode and to live in that fear. Exactly, divide and conquer. That is the thing. They want us to live in fear all the time because if you're in fear, okay, it literally shuts down your frontal cortex and you literally can't think. That is when you are open to programming. So think about that. When you get shook and you get like, this is why I tried to give you guys those storm breakers last week, because that was like, I got shook. I got put the fear of God into me when with my car issue and stuff like that. And it was so hard. I literally for days was trying so hard to just get myself out of the energetic feeling inside me, because then I'm like going down all the route. Like, what could it be? Could it be this? Could it be the what's it gonna look like if this bad thing happens? And I was like, I can't do that. I have to completely turn my back on that possibility and focus on it was just a fluke. My car is running great. I'm seeing myself DoorDash all the time. I'm like, this is great. And it worked. It did work for me. Which in the past, if you guys know anything about the issues I've had, like it was not, in fact, that was the thing I had to do completely different, because the thing that I usually do is I go and I immediately call my mom And I immediately start texting my friends. And so then what's happening? Well, we're just adding more energy to the bad thing to manifest more of the bad thing. So I was like, I'm not doing that this time. I'm going to take it under control. And I'm going to yes, I'm going to make it a good thing, you know? And that was honestly, that was the problem with my ex too. And it's still the problem with him because let me tell you, that guy, that guy, you can't change stupid is the problem. You can't change that. And he just shows me again and again and again. I have had no contact with him for months now. And then he sent me this cape, guys, this sweater cape, right? And so I write him and thank him for that. And next thing I know it, here comes the fear. Now he needs to explain to me in great detail all of the things that and I couldn't even read it. I honestly I couldn't even read it. But you know, I told you guys for a while now, like I haven't been having any heart palpitations. You know, for a long time I've been feeling really good. And then he basically went and asked one of my girlfriends to do a card reading for him. And I'm like, on what planet am I living in that he's gonna do the same thing that he's always done? Like did we not like I'm like, oh, and so yesterday I started having like even now a little bit, I'm having these heart palpitations. It's like, wow, thank you for reminding me why we broke up. Thank you for that fucking reminder, you know. And another synchronicity that came through was I had posted a meme a year ago and it was like, God, give me a sign if he's bad for me. And before she could even finish the statement, it was like this part of this movie where this woman is praying, and then it's like a fucking nuclear bomb goes off, and it's like, God, give me a sign that he's no good for me. Oh, and I was like, yep, that is the fucking truth right there. That is the truth. So yeah, I put two and two together. I realized, oh, well, why am I feeling these heart palpitations again? Oh, because he's doing the same fucking thing. You know, he's doing the same thing. And here I thought, like, I was like, oh, he sent me this nice shawl. Like maybe things are a little different. I'll write him and I'll say thank you. I didn't even expect him. I was like, I don't even know if he'll write back. And I rarely check the email I sent it from. So I was like, I don't really have to worry about it. So on that note, on that lovely note, please pray for my heart, guys, because I just realized I can't go back to that ever again. I can't go back to that type of situation ever again. Apparently my body physically is telling me I literally cannot handle that. So I just won't. All right. So I did buy new fortune cookies, guys. We're switching gears completely. So hang on. Hang on. Yeah. Ignore. Exactly, Geraldine. Exactly. I'm just like, I don't even understand. Like, why would you want it's like, would you just come back to bring up all the misery that I went through and justify it? That's what it felt like. It's like, I need closure. Let me tell you every minute little detail of why I did what I did. And, like, okay, like I already knew that. I already knew that stuff. And it was a fucking book. And he knows me well enough to know I cannot read super long stuff. I can't read books. I would love to read books. Okay. There are books out there that I want to read. There are books out there that I was absolutely aching and dying to read. And I even cried to him about it. Like, I can't read this book and I want to read this book. And he offered to read the book for me because he knew this about me. He offered to read it for me. And then we broke up before he got a chance to. And so I kept praying to God. I said, God, please, please, please find a way to make it an audiobook somehow. Find a way to make this person read their book. And guess what? Now they're reading the book and I'm hearing it. And I'm like, thank you, God. Another prayer answered. But he knows this. So why are you going to go into my email and write me a fucking book? You know I'm not going to be able to fucking read it. I'm not going to. We got two left, guys, in this bag. We got two left. Which one? Right or left? Right or left? Let's take a vote. It's for the collective. Use your gut instinct. Which one is the one that we need? Who's saying? We got left and left. I like that. Oh, wow. A lot of lefts. A lot of lefties. Okay. We're gonna do this. Okay. Mhm. You know what? Just giving spirit a time to adjust the fortune for us. You know that's how they work for me. What does the collective need to hear? This is the collective fortune cookie. And then we can open up this one next week and then we'll bring out the new bag. Okay, so what is the what do we all need to hear? Let's see if it lines up, which it usually does. You know, I told that when I went and bought more fortune cookies, and they always look at me weird when I'm like, I need a big bag of fortune cookies. And they're like, okay, just fortune cookies? I'm like, yep, just a bunch of fortune cookies. And there was this young girl, and I was like, yeah, I said I pulled them on my stream once a week, you know, like for a fortune. And she was like, and she's like, oh, stream? You're a streamer? I was like, it's a small little channel. I'm like, but yes, yes. And she was like, well, I mean, they're not real fortunes anymore. Like, they're not? Like, they're not real fortunes anymore? Oh, no. What do you think? Like, I thought they were like, there were like coins in them or something? Like, what? I don't understand. You don't think they're not magic anymore? Bitch, you don't know me. Yes, they are. They are magic. They are fortunes. All right. A sense of gratitude will fill your heart later today. Oh, and I've prayed, literally, I've like prayed for my heart, guys. A sense of gratitude will fill your heart later today. Yes, exactly. 'Cause I'm like, thank you, God, again for the reminder. I'm not going to say I hadn't been, I knew he'd been thinking about me because I know when people think about me. And his email basically confirmed it that he was trying his hardest not to because he knows how telepathic I am. But I did. I sensed it. I knew. So, anyway, and it made me miss him. I'll say that. It made me miss him. And then he had to go and ruin it with that book that he wrote me. Okay. So, it is a good one. I have to eat a piece of it because Victor always says if you don't eat it, it doesn't come true, right? Okay. Thank you, Victor. I much appreciate that. Okay. Um, oh, I thought my friend Nemo was supposed to be here. He was like excited for the cards, but it's all right. He'll have to get at me later. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has been hanging out here with me and listening to me go on my tangents, my rambles, my stories, my synchronicities. Thank you for bearing witness to my life and, you know, the struggles and the triumphs that I have been going through. I really do appreciate y'all. And if you could, if you feel generous enough, please hit the like button on the video for me. Share it out if you feel like it or not. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, and if you're someone out there in the background just lurking and you've been watching my channel being like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna give her a subscription. Come on, just do it. What are you even doing back there? Get into the chat. Start talking, you know. So, or leave some comments. If you're watching this later on, leave me a comment under the video because that actually helps, I guess, the algorithm pick up that people like your video, I guess. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. We lost a few people on that one, I see, but that's all right. So we're almost done. We're almost done for the day. I survived another one. Look, I did manage to keep this one a little bit shorter than some of the other ones. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead. Yes, okay. Sorry, I'm just like now I'm actually reading the chat. When I'm in the zone, I can't look at the chat at all, but now I'm actually looking at the chat. What is it that's like as a magical girl? What does the collective need to hear? What does the collective need to hear? Last shuffle, guys. Yeah, I feel it. All right, it's ready. It's ready. Okay. So, like I've been doing recently, I'm just going to pull the cards and then we're going to go over them. So, let's see. What is the collective message? One, two, and three. Boom. Yep. One. Two, and three. Interesting. This last part of the message. Hmm, interesting. Very interesting. All righty, guys. Okay, so the first card we got is the Judgment card. So this is actually a really good card to get right now, considering all the astrological alignments and things like that. It's really time to let go of things that no longer serve you or are not for your best and highest good. Okay, and if you let go of that thing that you don't want to so bad, kind of like Homura and Madoka from the story that we just talked about. Okay, like Homura did not want to let go of Madoka, didn't want to let her die. Okay, and in a sense kept herself locked in this time loop until she was willing to let it go and let Madoka rise to her fullest potential, which ended up being someone who quite literally saved the suffering of countless of girls. You know what I'm saying? Like that was her ultimate destiny that she had to fulfill, was to become this almost bodhisattva like character that was existing on all levels throughout all universes, all time and space. Okay. So the Judgment card is asking you what it is, the thing that you are afraid of letting go of, to let it be reborn into something new. Because whatever it is that you let go of, whatever thing it is that you're fighting so hard against, like if you do that, it's like they will replace it with something better. It will be replaced with something better, but you have to allow that judgment to happen. Okay, so let go what is no longer serving you, because it is going to lead to a happier ending for you. We got the Ten of Cups. Okay, so what you're looking for is some type of, I mean, it's the ultimate happy ending here. You see the two people right there. It reminds me of the Two of Cups. It reminds me of the Lovers cards. It's basically when someone actually sees you, when you have actual intimacy with another person. So as far as like in relationships go, what I'm saying, let's say you keep going back to the same person over and over again, or you allow the ideal of someone else to, like, this is like I'm thinking of a certain friend of mine, honestly. Okay, like if you keep going back to the same type of people, okay, you're going to get the same results. So what if you let go of all of that and allow yourself to just be alone for a little while and then see what God brings you? Find a way to love yourself, find a way to fill that cup of love up, okay, and see what God brings you as something different. You want something different, because if you keep attracting the same thing, you're going to get the same results. So this is what we're trying to head for. We're trying to head for something new, something better, the ultimate happy ending here. Okay, and right now we got the last card, which is the Two of Pentacles. So it's going to take some juggling. You're going to have to really learn how to balance yourself. You're really going to have to learn how to alchemize what's inside of you, the emotions that are inside of you. Okay, like that, those need to be in balance. And let's see, this isn't something that will continue this way forever. Like eventually, the other shoe has to drop, so to speak, is what is the saying that I always get when I feel into the Two of Pentacles, or I always remember. So just know that the thing that you have to let go of in order for it to replace by something better, in order to have this true intimate relationship with someone or connection, even if it's just to the divine creator itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't give up. If that's your goal, whatever it is your goal is, don't give up. Keep on going, keep walking that tightrope, and eventually it will create that new neurological loop, that new pattern in your life that's going to attract that thing that you want. Okay, like the direct chief aim that I'm talking about. Like people will give up on it because they will, it's the balance. Okay, it's like when you try to make any type of significant change in your life, it throws things off balance for a minute. And so it feels like when you ask for something new from God, a higher timeline, it has to take everything that's not in alignment with that higher timeline out of it. Okay. And so it feels like it's chaos. And so people will often backtrack and they'll go back to their comfortable dysfunction because at least they know that. And when it comes to real change, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable without knowing what it's going to look like or how it's going to happen, because humans are creatures of habit and they like to know, they like to feel like they know, like it's they like to feel stable, you know what I'm saying? And when you're asking for real change and you're asking for a different outcome for yourself, it can be a very scary thing and it can feel very uncertain. And that's just not so, like, really, like, try to let yourself be comfortable in that feeling and staying true to what it is your requests are, your prayers are from God, and that it's possible for those things to happen. I hope that if anything my streams have shown you guys is that so much is possible through God and through love. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can happen. The things that you want, I feel like the biggest piece of advice that I could give people about that is just like, ask God, ask your higher self to show you what is in your best interest and to start walking you down that path and say you surrender. Like, maybe you don't even know what that looks like. Ask God to help give you what, like, through synchronicities, what should your direct chief aim be? What should your DCA be? And how should you start creating that thing? Okay, because the keeping that balance, okay? Like, when it's unbalanced, it will come back to balance as long as you don't give up and you keep going. Lastly, I just want to show you guys real quick the hidden energies that we have underneath here, which is the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles knows he has a real gift, right? At this point, he's not the Page of Pentacles anymore, which is a very lucky character indeed. But now he knows that he has some gifts. Like, let's say he got it like a marble block and he was able to chisel out the statue that was inside of it, whatever it wanted to be. And now he has this beautiful gift and this beautiful treasure to share with the world, but he doesn't know how to do that with people. He wants people to ask him, like, hey, come and show me that thing that you got. Hey, you, like, what are you doing over there? What's that beautiful artwork next to you? He wants people to call him forward, but the Knight of Pentacles is not meant for that. The Knight of Pentacles, see, he's earth energy, so he's a little bit more slower to act. And so he has to be willing to take the action himself. So it might take you a little bit of, like, getting yourself worked up, getting yourself pumped up, so to speak, in order to go out there and do something in a new way and take yourself to the people. Okay, and take your gift to people. Like, that you have something for real to share with people. But you're never gonna get that invitation. You're gonna just have to go to the places where people can see it. You're just gonna have to put yourself out there. I'm sorry my cameraman is all over the place today, guys. I don't understand. Like, I'm gonna have to have a talk with him after the show or something and be like, bro, what were you doing? What are you doing? What are you even doing? This is really crazy to be moving all over the place like that. Okay, let's see what Geraldine says, because I always like her little inputs when it comes. She always reminds me of little things I forgot about the tarot. So let's see. Okay. Okay. When you get a level up, there's always a new devil, so to speak. That's very interesting. I pulled the devil card earlier too for myself on something. Sweet. Okay. Also got to get out of your comfort zone. Exactly. It always feels weird, right? Exactly. Oh, hi, Jason. Didn't see ya. How you doing? Nice for you to pop in here at the end of the stream. I'm sure, I know we're only an hour and a half in, but I'm about to be done. Unless, I don't know, I guess unless someone wants me to pull cards for them. That was one of the reasons that I thought my friend Nemo was going to be here, because I was pretty sure he was trying to ask me if I would pull cards for him. Oh, Susan, nice to see you too. I don't know. What should I do, guys? I'm kind of thinking about just taking off. I hope that card reading helped. That's what's going on. I don't know if I'll be back next week or not. I do know we are going into a Mercury retrograde, and it seems like my streams during Mercury retrogrades always are more difficult to get out there and make myself do. So I have a setting on my phone called center stage. What is this? What am I missing? I'm sorry. I know it's like I know from having my own comments read sometimes that I don't expect to be read on the stream. I was like, sometimes it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. Okay, hold on. Center stage is, oh, you're correcting me on my camera. I get it. Center stage is on by default and it keeps you in the camera frame. If you want to turn it off, the video thumbnail of yourself, okay? You know what? You're gonna have to I'm gonna have to do this after. I know Mercury retrograde is coming up I just read this whole post that Mario, for unscripted liberation codes, Mario. He wrote a huge long post on it. Well, not huge, but it was decently sized, talking about how it's going to be from February 20th to March. Was it March 26th? So that means basically, essentially, it's going to be Mercury retrograde during, what is it? Is it the full moon? The full moon that's going to be coming up for this next month. So I think that we're going to have to halt on the manifestations rituals that I had mentioned, you guys, that we could all, I could have other people join in with us. I feel like we should put a halt on that because I've gotten multiple people, astrologers and stuff, that basically have said that it is not a good idea to manifest during eclipses because there's going to be a solar and a lunar eclipse this month. Or not solar. There's going to be a lunar eclipse on, I think, on the new moon and on the full moon or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Also, I want to say briefly, exciting, February 17th, the new Chinese New Year starts, Year of the Fire Horse. Get excited. I don't know why, but something feels really super positive and exciting about Fire Horse. You know what I'm saying? Something feels fucking amazing about the Year of the Fire Horse. I haven't even looked up anything on it yet, but I'm going to now after the show because I'm just feeling it. And you know what else is really important on February 17th? Miss White Swan's birthday. That is right. I am right, right? Please tell me I didn't get it wrong. Happy birthday to her in case I'm not going to be back out here before then. So let's just go ahead and wish her a happy birthday now because she has been here from the beginning of my stream. She has been here almost every single one of them. I'm so grateful. I'm so lucky to have met, like I said, a beautiful reptilian warrior goddess like you. And thank you for being part of my life. And I hope it is the best. I hope it is the best. The best is yet to come, right? Because it's 17 too, right? 17. Had to say that. So I love you. Yeah. Hmm. Well, you know what? In fact, I know. Can I pull cards for you, White Swan? Can I just do one birthday reading for you and then we'll leave and then we'll go. I promise. And then we'll go. I know how you are though. You're like, no, no one needs to pull cards for me. Let me do a birthday pull card for you. Let me do it. I'm waiting though. I have to wait for. Yes, yes. Yay! Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, let's go. Let's go. All right. Okay. All right. Ah, oh, White Swan. Miss Liz. That's what I call her. Miss Liz. Okay. Tuning into your energy. All right. Lovely energy. Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. So what would her higher self like to tell her through the tarot? This is her birthday reading. So what would they like to tell her? for her birthday energy in the year coming up. Okay. One more shuffle. You know I'm like a crazy. I gotta shuffle a lot. So all right, that was the last one though. This is one, two, three. You got it? All right, here we go. Message. Two, three. Okay. So far, two, three. Okay. Nice. All right, last one. So last one, the message. Voice on here. One, two, three. I felt it was going to come from the first one. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, then. All right, so the first card we got for you, okay, for your birthday reading is we got the Ace of Swords. So as you can see, you are going to be shifting in a way that you are communicating about something new. You are communicating about something in a different way. You're upgrading. You're leveling up, so to speak, when it comes to this. Okay. You use your words wisely. Let's see. We got the and it's like I don't know, like I'm sure you're going to be gathering with someone on your birthday, but it's like I always notice these two roses here, and it always makes me feel like the consciousnesses of people. So you definitely are going to be communicating with someone on a pure and innocent and beautiful level, and you're going to be sharing yourself with someone in a new way when it comes to just new ideals, um, new concepts, new energies. You're going to be able to do it in a way that's verbally with what was it body language, things like that. Okay, but let's go ahead. So we know what that is. It's an ace, it's an ace sword. So we're shifting in a way that has to do with communicating, and I think who it has to do with is this King of Rods character. So this is a fiery king here. He is very much takes action. He's able to take action before thinking, and he doesn't have to think about it. Okay, okay. I'm getting a really good energy about it. It's a little bit different actually. It's like someone who has good programs in them. Okay, so let's say like programs aren't always bad for people. It's like the human brain has to work on programming. Okay, so this is the type of person though that they have healthy programs, and so they're really able to just do what they do really easily. They don't have to think about it, and they're also they're very passionate. You don't have to tell them what to do. They automatically know what to do. So I feel like this is someone that you can trust. So you're going to be talking to this person in a new type of way. Love that type of energy for you, and have faith. I don't know what it is you're going to be sharing with this person, okay, but have faith that it's going to be a good one, that you guys are going to have a good celebration together. I don't know if maybe he has something planned for you guys. Maybe this is like your husband, I'm thinking. Okay, but maybe he has plans to take you out somewhere and you don't know about that yet. Or maybe you do know about it and maybe you're like, I don't know if I'm even going to have a good time, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think you are going to have a good time. I think you should trust the day's events, whatever is going to be communicated between the two of you guys. And then ultimately, I think that if there has been any struggles that you've been having in any type of way in bringing something that's been like basically it's been playing around in your mind a lot, but it's like something that it's like time to stop thinking about it and time to start acting on it and doing something about it. Okay, so I don't know if there's something you guys have, there's like maybe you've been waiting for something, you've been like you guys been thinking about it, you guys been talking about it a lot, but now it's like actually time to put whatever that is into action. And the only reason I say that is because the hidden energies you got was the Ten of Swords, which I do not take to be like as an ending type of thing here, where it's like, oh, it's fucking it's dead over. Really get the sense and the feeling that actually, like I said, it is something that you guys have, there's been something that you guys have been playing a lot around with when it comes to tossing the ideals back and forth in the mental sphere. And now it is time to stop talking about it and it's time to actually take action on whatever that is. Okay. Oh yeah. Hold on. I know he's got I know, right? He's got the Firebird on his head there. I do like this king. He seems very what's the word for it? Like exciting. He's exciting. He follows his heart, like I'm trying to tap into the energy of this guy a little bit more here. He's like, he sees something he wants and he goes after it, but he doesn't that's right. He doesn't ask for it. He says, "This is mine." He claims it, right? It's I'm sorry. I'm fumbling over a little bit because I'm like getting towards the end of the stream here and I'm nervous now. I'm like, because I know of like there's something that they're trying to share with me here, and I'm just not pulling it all the way through all the way in the right way here. But it's like it's the type of energy guy where it's like he just goes out there and he tells the world what he wants and he gets it because he just goes out there and he says, "This is mine. This is what I'm going to have. You're going to do this. You're going to do this." He's like maybe a coordinator of some sort, which makes sense with the fact that you're going to have faith. You're going out somewhere. So I hope you enjoyed that, Miss White. I hope that is a really good birthday message for you. All right. Oh, wow, look at that. She broke down the numbers too, and it added up to 17 as well. Oh, that's funny. See, spirit was behind it. Okay, I absolutely will. I know, because I think I'm getting nervous because I'm like, I know you're kind of more like of a private person, and so trying not to throw all of everything out there for you, because I'm like, I know how you feel about even doing public tarot readings like this. You're usually like in the background, like, no, you don't have to pull for me. So I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't mind that I want to do this for her. So I love you. And on that note, Neva didn't show up in the chat. No one else really shouted out about reading. So, but we'll do that next time. Next time, maybe that's what I'll just do for next week. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I guess I could have done Valentine's Day readings, but I don't know. I'm in the mood to just go and smoke some weed and chill. So that's exactly what it is. I know that about you, girl. Oh no, you missed. Oh, you missed it. What did you miss? You missed the card pull, and Sass. I'm sorry. I feel bad now. I listen. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna pull cards next time. Unless I have anything else to add, which I always have a little bit add in the beginning of it. Yeah, you can watch the replay. Yeah, yeah. Replay crew. Oh my god, I gotta fix that camera. The cameraman's going crazy on me. Happy Valentine's Day. Yes. Okay. All right. I am gonna go now. So don't forget, the fortune cookie we got is a sense of gratitude will fill your heart later today. I hope so, guys, because I am gonna fucking need it. Because I always go down this road after my streams where it's like I said, I always get the little chatty chats that come to me afterward. I'm going to hear people's thoughts. I'm going to feel people's feelings of the people who actually do watch it, which thank God they're not. I don't know how people who have bigger platforms handle it, because I know it's not all me. You know what I'm saying? But I also know there are things that are me that come through too. So it's like this post stream chaos that has to happen, and it will happen for like a couple days after the stream, and then eventually it'll like settle down, so out here doing what I do. I hope that you guys found some use in this stream. I hope the story helped you out in some way to understand the diamond heart and how that works, and keeping your heart clear, guys, and staying on point so that you can follow it and so that it's not distorted. Because that's the thing, is that when our hearts are distorted from suffering and pain, it will eventually invert it. And then you will be acting out of inversion. And you won't even know it. You won't even really realize it, other than the constantly needing to refill. It's almost like it turns people into vampires, so to speak. Then they're going to be out there. You're looking for energy to fill something that can't be filled, so to speak. Sorry to take us back down like a sad, like dark place, but I'm in it. I'm in it, guys. I'm in it. Okay. Yes, that's a good way to put it. That is a good way to put it, Miss White Swan. That is hilarious. All right. So yeah, I guess yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow in the Blue Flame Collective. As you know, that's where my main crew hangs out. So if you're looking to hang out and get a tarot reading from Matthew and Honora, a tarot or psychic reading, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying that was the other thing Erica Kirk said, right? I want to be in your lady garden. No, I'm saying it was a gnome. What is this woman doing? God, what's that? I took a picture with a pizza. Gee, I wonder what that's supposed to symbolize. Had a guy, her boyfriend has a freaking tattoo on his lip saying pizza. What? Okay, sorry. I don't want to go back down that rabbit hole again. Feed the egregore of fucking Erica Kirk and the whole Charlie Kirk stuff. Because who really knows what happened? I mean, I feel like I have a sense, but who really fucking knows? Yes. Victor. Yeah, White Swan, if you haven't seen the text messages she sent to this 15-year-old girl and hadn't heard about that stuff, and Victor, how did you not know what pizza? Are you not like super close to Journey to Truth people? Come on now. How do you not know about pizza? I'm gonna have to tease you for that one. Oh my God. That that was like Edge of Wonder days that I freaking learned about that. This is like, oh my gosh. Baby boy. Let me touch you. Yep, let me touch you. There you go, Victor. You get a head pat. Now you know. It's okay. You're such a sweet innocent. You're so sweet innocent. Yes. How did you watch Medical Magica and be this innocent? Okay. Sorry guys, I'm kind of I'm getting drawn back by the chat a little bit. Yeah, that was well, you've seen the new files. It's been beef jerky, right? Beef jerky is the new one that I'm hearing a lot of. Oh, I love that one. You sweet summer child. I love that saying. Oh, that was the other one I forgot. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I just see, look, this is what's going to happen when I end my stream. I'm going to start remembering all the things that I didn't say that I wanted to say. Okay. Such as, I'm just going to briefly say it now. Okay. So we were talking about how my story relates to other stories that I've told, right? Okay. So one of the other ones that seems to come out a lot, or what I've been able to gather was my Game of Thrones characters, which I'm not going to go over to Game of Thrones because if you haven't watched it at this point, you don't really know the storyline. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But like I always felt like I was like an Arya Stark character. Okay. An Arya Stark character. I was three characters: Arya Stark, Melisandre, who worked for the Lord of Light, and Cersei's, right? Who eventually, because like that's all I wanted to do is I had a list of people who did this thing, just like Jolene. Okay. She wanted to go after the people who hurt her dad, right? And so Arya Stark, same thing. She wanted to go and kill the people who hurt her dad. I'm like noticing these themes, right? And that was what I did in this past life, was like I didn't just want to end them in that lifetime, though. I wanted to end them in every single one of them. I was going to find them every single time. And clearly I was a priestess of some sort, working for the Lord of Light, being Melisandre. And then I keep thinking about Cersei's and like, well, what did Cersei's do? Cersei eventually gathered them all in the septum, in the temple, so to speak, and then she exploded the temple, right? And she killed all of them, but not just them. She killed a bunch of innocents too. So that's kind of shitty and kind of bad, because I do think eventually I got corrupted. I do think eventually in the Dark Ages and stuff like that, I got corrupted, just like most of humanity did when they fell. Okay, see, so I'm glad this is just a record of me getting this out, guys. So yeah, it's something else that happened to me, because I always felt like Arya Stark and like a Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill. Okay, she did the same thing. She made a list. I'm like super attracted. These are the stories that I'm super drawn to. The stories you are drawn to tell you about yourself. They tell you something about what you have lived or what you are living in parallel lifetimes, because time is happening all at once. Okay, so that is part of who I am. That is part of what I've had to let go of and overcome and now we're doing the good lifetime. Like now we're like we're redemption. There it is. Redemption lifetime. Okay. All right, I'm good. Oh, he felt the head pats. I'm so glad, Victor. Okay. All right. All right, my sweet loves. Okay, I'm leaving. I'm about to end right before it hits the 2-hour mark. Have a great Valentine's Day. I hope this was a pleasure to watch. Oh, wait, no, someone said something about Arya Stark. Hold on. I'm gonna look. All right. Right? See? So you probably have a similar past life experience. I just feel it. Like if you whoever you relate to in these stories, okay, because we've done it all, guys. We have done it all. We have been here for millions of years, most likely. Okay, like reincarnating. Like even if you're not incarnating into vessels, like you've still been around for all the time. You're immortal, you're eternal beings. Right? And so sorry, my daughter's like slipping notes under the door now. I can't even read them here at this point. She's cracking me up. So the stories that we're drawn to, okay, like even with soul groups, even with reincarnation, okay, I don't believe we always come back as the same thing to one another. I think we come back in different roles. I think we have all been everything to one another. Like we've done it all. We've put the puzzle pieces in all different ways. So, like one lifetime, maybe, someone's your child, another lifetime, maybe they're a spouse, another lifetime, maybe they're just a friend, another lifetime, it's like we've been it all. Mother, brother, sister, father, lover, friend, companion, like everything. We've mixed it all around. And so whatever you're drawn to, pay attention to that because most likely you have lived something like that. Hmm. And what part of the story draws you to that? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's the list. I know I made a list. I was like, I'm gonna get these motherfuckers. They are going to die. Going to get them. You know. So anyway, that got me excited for a second. Now we went over the 2-hour mark, but it's fine. Yeah, she works with the many-faced god. Exactly. She had to get rid of her identity entirely. She had to completely forget who she was. And wasn't that really her issue in the long run? Was that she couldn't sacrifice that part of her in order to be devoted only into service of God. And so she kind of corrupted herself in a way. And she used the magic that she learned from the temple of the many-faced god in order to hunt down her enemies and kill them one by one by being able to shapeshift into looking like other people and being other people. So very interesting. So, Warrior Princess, love that. I used to love Xena Warrior Princess. In fact, I have a screen name email that's still named that Xena. People always think though that it means that like I'm into chicks sometimes. Like people would think that like because I'm like obsessed with Xena. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I just love Xena. What do you like? She's just amazing. Like, is it really that it has to be the defining trait? Like, oh, if you love Xena, well, you must bat for the other team. Like just like Eric, I don't bat for the other team yet. Boy, I'm finding ways to just throw in more Erica Kirk references here. That bitch. I can't stand her. I can't stand her. Her evil looking face. She's mourning. She's a widow mourning. How can you? How dare you? Very easily. Very easily. I call out evil when I see it. Okay. For real now. For real, for real. We're leaving now. Okay. I got notes coming under my door left and right. Sarah Kitty is not in the chat anymore. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Those of you that are in the Blue Flame Collective, I will see you tomorrow. And I guess on that note, say your prayers. Good night.